Today I fucked up by whispering under my breath in the online new employee orientation. This actually did happen today, SMH. So due to financial insecurity as a result of COVID, hooray for capitalism, I've had to rejoin the full-time workforce. Also due to COVID, this position has put all their orientation trainings online using a professional version of Zoom. Now most of the free use video platforms automatically keep you muted when you enter the meeting, or at least give you the option of doing this when you first enter and again out you on mute if you switch from headphone audio to computer speakers or vice versa. As I learned today, this software does not have this feature! So I linked into the training today, trying to make a good impression, signing in early and attempted to get acquainted with the system before we begin. I saw that both trainers and about 20 other new employees are all in the room and that the trainers are talking to one another, but I have no audio. As I enter, I see that it automatically unmuted you when you select the audio source, so I click mute and fiddle with the settings to see why I can't hear anything. I whisper to myself, what the FCK is happening? Is that a Christmas tree? As I see a giant green fake tree in the corner of one of the trainers' offices. I see snickering from about 15 of the attendees, thankfully neither of the trainers, as they were doing other things away from their computers prior to starting, and look down to see that not only am I now unmuted, after messing with the audio settings, but that apparently my headphone mic is very good, as most of my co-workers heard me cursing / judging of my new superiors. P.S. The volume was down, which was why I couldn't hear the audio. TL, Doctor, almost all my new co-workers heard me cursing and remarking on the home decor of one of the orientation trainers due to technological incompetence. Edit, for comments related to capitalism / not working full-time. Prior to COVID, I owned a private consulting practice which basically was defunct for a year and put me in a ton of debt in the meantime. Although entrepreneurship is a type of capitalism, in theory, in practice the giant corporations which refuse to cut me a break, and a lot more people experiencing job loss due to COVID, and threatened to take all my assets for non-payment, despite being a preferred member for 20+ years, are the ones who have the power in this situation, not mom and pop corner stores and small private practices. Having to return to a full-time job in a corporation to pay back other corporations is soul-crushing. If you love capitalism so much, stop giving your money to billionaires and support small businesses. I had a Zoom class with a professor whose first name was Erin, and one day she just would not stop talking about useless stuff at the end of the class. A friend of mine didn't realize she was unmuted and said, "Alright, let's wrap this shit up, Erin," and everyone went silent. Lamau. I was on cell phone test pools for years, was pretty cool, all the new gadgets months before unveiling, and we'd have daily call-in for issues because it was still all under development, directions to try to reproduce issues, new code rollout, etc. One unskilled person in the pool kept holding everyone hostage, bloviating on and on about a single point issue she was having, likely her just not understanding, and they kept saying we'll take it offline and talk about it. But nope, kept talking in circles. Verbalize OMG. Stop talking please. Pardon me, whoops, not on mute, silently mute, but this wasn't a GUI call, old-fashioned teleconference, so she didn't know who said it. Got us out of the hostage situation too. In my old job, I was watching a software training recording in our intranet. Recording was a live product demo with some 30 people attending, and one presenting. About 90 minutes in, some guy says, "Oh my god, this is too fucking boring." Everyone goes quiet for about 6 seconds, including the instructor. Then he says okay, and just keeps going. The best part is that they left that recording available for everyone to see. I downloaded it and used to play that part when I was having a bad day. Well, you made a strong first impression. Might not be a good one, but I'm guessing it will be a strong one. I accidentally yelled "oh my god" to a live mic during a Zoom meeting where one of the participants was unnecessarily making the same point over and over. A visitor from another company said, "What, is the world ending?" while a colleague gently reminded me that I wasn't muted. Nothing bad happened, except I probably hurt the feelings of the co-worker who had been talking. What, is the world ending? No, cat used my leg as a scratching post. Today I fucked up by leaving my favorite porn on the first page of my iPhone Notes app. I decided to get a new phone today. Headed over to the Verizon store, why not? The Verizon employee and I went through all the options and prices and I decided on an iPhone 12. Great. We started to transfer all my apps and data over to the new phone and I'm super pumped, as I haven't had a new phone in over 3 years. The guy was really chill and the process of the switch was super quick and easy. When the transfer of the data was done, he starts going through all the pictures, videos and so on to show me that everything is there on my new phone. At this point I realized they were kind of going through it more than I anticipated, and thought, maybe I should have done a quick sweep of anything private, whatever. He starts making sure all the apps are there. He opens the Notes app and the first thing he probably read was Tight Pussy Stretched Out by Big Dick with Piper Perry. This was the exact title of a good porn video, saved on my Notes app with many others for future use. For context, I use a private browser and can't really save links or look at history, so I just save the titles of the videos in the Notes app. The Verizon employee quickly realized what he was looking at and scrambled to exit out of the app. It was instantly kind of weird, so I said, "That's some pretty quality porn in there." The man said absolutely nothing in regards to what I had just said, and tried to act as though nothing had just happened. I started sweating pretty hard as I still had my winter jacket on, and this stranger had just seen my top 30 list of precise porn titles that clearly had taken me months of jerk-off sessions to put together. I kind of panic and take my jacket off but realize I'm about to pay and leave, so I just quickly put it back on. One of the weirdest interactions I have ever had. I just laughed the entire way home. Too long didn't read, forgot to hide my porn collection on my iPhone Notes app, and the Verizon employee switching my data to my new phone saw it. So I used to work at an Apple store and had much worse crap happen constantly. Some kids once changed the backgrounds on all of the front-end phones to giant dicks a couple of times. My favorite interaction was this guy came in, handed me his phone and goes, "This is my company phone and I'm about to get fired. How do I get my wife's nudes off of this and onto my other phone?" Straightforward. That's some pretty quality porn in there. You're a fucking doof, ha 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 ho. When the transfer of the data was done, he starts going through all the pictures, videos and so on to show me that everything is there on my new phone. This is why I transfer my own shit. So, why the fuck would they go through your photos? Sounds like they do it second nature, cause they know the kind of stuff they can potentially find there. I didn't even know that letting the shop transfer everything was something that you could do. These days, when you buy a new smartphone, the phone will usually say, "How would you like to transfer your files to this new phone?" and give you several options. It's actually super easy, barely an inconvenience. I imagine anyone that supports tech with some kind of storage capability and that interacts with people is accustomed to seeing weird things. Professionals won't say anything unless it's child pornography or potentially human trafficking. A friend of mine used to work at a phone store. She said she used to see all kinds of porn on people's phones. She suspects some of it was intentional, like, "Oops, you saw my dick. What time do you get off work?" The dude you talk to has seen way worse and I doubt he'll bother mentioning it to anybody. Fuck, I shouldn't have said anything then. Today I fucked up by searching on How to Murder My Mother. I wanted to search for the TV show How to Get Away with Murder, but a few seconds earlier, How I Met Your Mother had come to mind. My brain had a hiccup and absent-mindedly I typed How to Murder My Mother. That very instant my wife walked in and was aghast. I looked at her and then the screen and realized my mistake. I quickly began typing How to Get Away with Murder. Well, that didn't help and she was more shocked and ran out of the room. She really thought I was serious about it and was about to call my mother. I had to really calm her down and explain the whole thought process, and also showed her the TV shows I was talking about. She had heard of the shows long ago but didn't make the connection in the instant she walked in the room. She finally understood and breathed a sigh of relief, and so did I. Too long didn't read, I accidentally searched How to Kill My Mother and my wife walked in on me. I feel like you thought of a joke and wrote this story to tell it. Very much so. She just randomly saw it on a tiny search bar and immediately became aghast and didn't ask any questions. Sure. In September 2014, my dad asked me, "Are you interested in How to Get Away with Murder?" I said, "Should I be?" He answered, "Well, it doesn't premiere for another 2 weeks, so you have time to decide." I said, "Oh, it's a show. That makes more sense. Grab a shovel and meet me in the car, Junior." I try to imagine being in a relationship where I wouldn't laugh at the thought of my partner doing this but panic and think he will murder his mother. Today I fucked up by making up a story on r/today I fucked up.